There's 6.4, presentation of proclamation designating May 2025 as Lake County Month of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People, and B, authorize public services to hang the flag at the courthouse for the month of May 2025. And I will go ahead and read this proclamation. And if you are here for this proclamation, please come up and stand up here with me. All right. You can fill all the way over. You what? You wrote one?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm good. There's two flags actually.
Perfect.
Just one with the names underneath.
Mhm.
There's one just with sure. Yeah.
Is it in the front
To
too?
give you a red one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good for the public.
There we go.
It'll show up.
All right. Come on up.
If you guys want to come back here, happy to have you on the dais with us.
How you doing? You gonna come up? Yeah. Oh,
Michael, if you want to come up. Happy to make room.
Yes.
yeah. We can have people up here too.
Now you got to answer to all this.
You got to come up, Mo.
I'm just kidding.
It is a hot mic too.
All right.
Oh, good. Just right here.
All right. Anyone else? Sure. All right. So I'll go ahead and read this proclamation. It's my honor to read it, and it's an honor to be given the flag to put above the courthouse and have it flying. So I'll go ahead and start with this proclamation, designating May 2025 as Lake County Month of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People. Whereas, according to the National Crime Justice Training Center, missing and murdered Native women are 2.5 times more likely to experience violent crimes and twice as likely to experience rape or sexual assault in their lifetime, comprise 40% of sex trafficking victims, and experience rape at a rate of 1 in every 3. And whereas, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, American Indian Alaska Native men are 2.5 times more likely to experience violent crimes, and nearly half, 45.3%, have experienced rape, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner during their life. And whereas, the CDC also reports that over 4 in 5 American Indian Alaskan Native men and women have experienced violence in their lifetime, and homicide is the 3rd leading cause of death for Native youth aged 1 through 19, the 4th leading cause for Native males aged 20 to 44, and the 6th leading cause for Native women aged 20 through 44. And whereas, the National Crime Information Center missing and unidentified persons statistics from 2022 accounted for 5,487 missing Indigenous persons incidents, 4,251 of whom were under the age of 20, and by the end of 2022, 1,593 of those cases remained open. And whereas, in 2020, the federal government enacted Savannah's Act and the Not Invisible Act to address the lack of accurate data, enhance law enforcement collaboration, and create better responses to the growing crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women and people. And whereas the origins of this epidemic trace back to systemic legal and structural barriers such as the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Oliphant versus Suquamish Indian Tribe in 1978, which stripped tribal nations of the power to prosecute non-natives who commit crimes on tribal lands, severely undermining tribal sovereignty and the protection of Indigenous people. And whereas Lake County is home to some of the earliest known atrocities against Indigenous people, including the Temescal Massacre, 1820s, and the Bloody Island Massacre, 1850, both devastating events that reflect long history of state and settler violence against the Pomo peoples and mark the beginning of documented cases of missing and murdered Indigenous people in what is now Lake County, California. And whereas the area known today as Lake County is located on the ancestral homelands of Indigenous people who have lived, stewarded, and honored these lands since time immemorial, and is currently home to 7 federally recognized tribes: the Big Valley Band of Pomo Indians, the Elam Indian Colony, the Habemetalel Pomo of Indians, the Khoi Nation of Northern California, the Middletown Rancheria of Pomo Indians of California, the Robinson Rancheria of Pomo Indians, and the Scotts Valley Band of Pomo Indians. And whereas the County of Lake is committed to honoring the lives of missing and murdered Indigenous people, both those documented in public records and those whose cases remain unrecorded, and stands in solidarity with the families, communities, and tribal nations impacted by these ongoing tragedies, and recognizes that addressing this crisis requires continued action, justice, healing, and systemic change. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lake hereby designates May 2025 as Lake County Month of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People. Passed and adopted this 6th day of May 2025, signed by myself, E.J. Crandall, Chair of Board of Supervisors. And I have 7 here for each tribe as well, so we'll get those to you once we're finished. I think we're gonna have someone speak. All right.
Good morning, members of the board and community members. My name is Katie Ray, and I'm an enrolled member of Round Valley Indian Tribes, a descendant of Kashil-Dihi Band of Wintun Indians, Paskenta Band of Nomalaki Indians, and Grindstone Indian Rancheria. I am the Victim Services and Programs Manager for Scotts Valley Band of Pomo Indians.
Recording stopped.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today as we recognize and proclaim May MMIP Awareness Month as a time to honor and bring visibility to the missing and murdered Indigenous people. Thank you for being here today. Your presence means more than words can express, because when we gather like this as a community, as family, we affirm that we will not be silent, we will not forget, and we will continue to seek justice, truth, and healing for our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. The crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous people is not new. It is a wound that has existed for generations, rooted in colonization, systemic racism, and indifference. Our mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts, brothers, and two-spirit relatives have been stolen from us, taken too soon, and often ignored by the very systems that are supposed to protect us. For many of us, this is not just an issue, it is our reality. It is personal. We know the pain of unanswered calls, of cold cases left untouched, of hearing promises from officials that are never kept. We live with the ache of not knowing, the ache of knowing too much, and yet we are still here. We are still standing. Today, we stand in remembrance of the countless Indigenous women, girls, boys, men, and two-spirit individuals who have been taken from their families and communities, many without justice, many without answers. Today, we speak their names, we honor their lives, we tell their stories, not as statistics, but as loved ones. They were artists, caregivers, dreamers, protectors, elders, and youth. They mattered, and they still matter. We also raise our voice and demand. We demand accountability, demand proper investigations, equitable media coverage, and real policy change. We demand protection for Indigenous people, not just words, but action. We will fight, we will also heal. We will uplift one another. We create space for remembrance, for prayer, for ceremony. We hold each other up because that is what our ancestors did. This is what we will do for generations to come. Let us walk forward with courage, love, and the knowledge that we are not alone. In the speaking the truth, in sharing our stories, we carry the strength of every person who is missing, every soul we have lost, and every survivor that continues on. We may never stop seeking justice. May we never stop loving. May we never stop remembering. That is why today's proclamation matters. It is more than symbolic. It is a commitment to acknowledging this crisis, to uplifting Indigenous voices, to working with tribal nations, advocates, and families to seek justice and change. Let this proclamation be a call to action for stronger partnerships with tribal communities, for culturally appropriate resources, and for persistent efforts to end this violence. To the families and advocates who have carried this work for generations, we see you, we hear you, we stand with you. Thank you.
Sam, are we still frozen? On Zoom, but it's recording still? Okay. I think we're good on that as long as we're recording. So, yeah. You don't have to read it again.
I'm not.
You can just place the microphone.
Oh, here.
And finally, hello everybody. My name is Darnell Aparicio, and generally we introduce ourselves in our native language. Basically what I said is, I am Darnell Aparicio, and we are, my people are from west of this water, which is a saltwater people. I am Pomo from Manchester Point Arena. I have 100 names here to read of the individuals that are missing or murdered. Number 1, Regina Lorraine Reyes, 31 years old. Vanessa Nico, 35. Teresa Brown, 46. Yancey McLeod Jr., 29. Nicole Smith, 32. Khadijah Britton, still missing, 2/8 of 2018. Ileana McKenna Fries, 17. Rachel Sloan, 22. Natasha Steele, 36. Regina Watchman, 31. Dwayne Arnold, 38. Christopher Burrows, 36. Kenneth Whipple, 26. Nicholas Whipple, 20. Ruby Sky Montalago, 16. Justina Stubbe, 17. Michael Pena, 52. Reginald Jean Britton, 48. Leonard Peters, 46. William Betega, 25. Roman Elliott, 19. Arthur Ruiz, 42. Stephen Myers, 56. Antonio Jim Buck Tickner, 35. Misty Lee Hawkins, 36. Rafael Montes, 26. Alfonso Mendoza, 20. Sam Billy, 27. Bob Want, 28. Ivan Bodine Tillotson, 28. Jordan Luna, 30. Jason McLean, 22. Rupert Duncan, 29. Sam Fullwilder, no age. Patsy Frazier, no age. Regina Asbill, no age. John Hoagland, no age. John Henry Asbill, 22. Louis Hoagland, 41. Lum Willits, 58. Perrin Hoagland, 73. Perry Hoagland, no age. Archie Want, 30. Angel Murguia Martinez, found. Deceased. Roy Totsatek, 9/22 of 24, still missing. Heather Anderson, 24. Monique Loaiza, no age. Daryl Poe, 38. Enoch Cruz Salgado, 21. Savannah LaFontaine Graywin, 22. Emily Pike, 14. Hannah Harris, 21. Ashley Wabashaw, 19. Tyrone Steele, Sr., 41. New Wayne Ramos Jones, 13. William Willie Alfred Cook, Jr., 6. Emily Risling, still missing, 10/18 of 21. Andrea Jerry Chick White, missing since 7/31 of 91. Jenica Suazo, 18. Sumi Gail Wan, missing since 11/16 of 2010. Rosalina Bell Rodriguez, 21. Angela McConnell, 26. Heather Cameron, missing since 8/18 of 2012. Nikki Patterson, missing since 1/5 of 20. Sorry, he was found deceased. John Davis, missing since 10/24 of 21. Shelley Autumn Moon, 16. Margaret Lee Moon, 40. Nikki Dion Metcalf, 40. Julius Barthel Tripp, 42. Ben Taggart, 21. Milton Patrick Yogi McGarva, 55. Sonny Joe Grant, 37. Peter Stewart, 26. I'm going to try to say his name as best as I can. Nandi Omar Thunderdine IV, 36. Erica Young, 19. Warek Lacey Mae Jackson, 18. Virgil Bussell, 3/1 of 2020, still missing. Cheryl Bussell, 50. Brandon Mitchell, 45. Willie B. Nelson, 43. Timothy Thompson, 50. Eddie Koch, 3/8 of 2018, still missing. Mark Nelson, 5/5 of 2016, still missing. Little Gregory Montgomery, no age. Dewey McGarva at 36, deceased. Victor Martinez, no age. Angel Baby Espinoza, 23. Richard Frederick Tiz Mill Estrada, 17. Dustin Martin, 7/20 of 2015. Tyrone Bo Robinson, 12/21 of 18. Sequoia Callahan Galvin, 18. Raymond Eckert, 34. Elaine Gira Rivera, 6/26 of 87, still missing. Mel Green McGregor, Mel Green McGregor, 9/14 of 25. Jeffrey Paul Bull, 9/27 of 05. Joseph Victor Canal Jr., 4/20 of 07. Joseph Scott, 11/9 of 07. Elijah Running Bear Diaz, 10/1 of 2015. Tyrone Bo Robinson, 12/21 of 18. Martin Smith, 27. All those names matter. All those names, whether they're here, whether they're alive, whether they're deceased. And let's remember that 55 of those names come from Round Valley Indian Reservation, which comprise 55% of our entire population of missing and murdered Indigenous people in the state of California. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, my friend. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? I just also wanted to say thank you for being here. Chairwoman Sorelli, Chairman Simon, Chairman Cromwell, and Chairman McLeod. I see a lot of council members here as well, elders, leaders. I appreciate you all coming. I know that we are all connected to many of those names. Interesting statement that I will make is deployed, overseas in a combat zone, my unit only lost one person, or not even one person, it was actually an injury. And I come home, and since then, like at least from the people that I'm either related to or I know in those names that were read off, at least 40% of them I've had a connection to them, if not related to them. So I had to highlight that, and a lot of them were younger than they should have passed. So that's just an interesting thing I always think about. Any other comments, or anybody want to come up and speak about this proclamation? Is there anyone from the public? And then I'm going to ask the board. Sorry about that. I should have asked you first. Go ahead.
This is one of the most powerful proclamations that we do throughout the year, and it's humbling and an honor to have you all join us. And we have leadership, and we have youth and elders, and it's incredible for y'all to be here. So I'm deeply appreciative that you do this, that you bring this to us, Chair Crandall, and that we can participate in this way. So thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Vice Chair Rasmussen.
Thank you. I appreciate the county's commitment to this issue and all of our tribal community members for being here and making this a priority. Thank you.
Always appreciate you bringing the proclamation. Kind of leaves me a little bit speechless. I guess I appreciate that we put up the flag. I think it's a good symbolism of our partnership. I'd like to see what we can learn and what we can do. Maybe inviting our sheriff to talk to us about what is done internally to try and rectify this issue. Learning more and seeing what else we can do and what we might be missing. Because maybe we're trying and maybe we're not thinking of some of the opportunities that should exist. So just looking to see if we can further the conversation than just a proclamation. Thank you.
And if I remember correctly, it was you and Katie who thought of the flag. So that was great. Well, yeah, well, Katie for sure, but yeah. Is there anyone else? If not, Sam, it looks like it's that time. I don't want to stand in front of everybody, so I'll stand back here. That way I'm not in front of it.
Thank you very much.
Ellen, how's that for you? Did you hear the names when you were going? Because I saw that you were on the phone. These are all our people that died or were missing. And you looked like you were busy. Well, this should take precedence. Our people matter. So I hope so.
How are you doing, sir? I don't know. I'll let you know when the meeting's over. The beginning's always perfectly level. At the end, you're like, "Oh, we got." Nice. Right. I've heard of your long meetings. They're legendary, I hear.
Well, good.
All right. Looks like we finally got the issue resolved. Thank you for your patience, and we will get back to the agenda. It looks like we have to finish up 6.4 real quick, which is B, authorize public services to hang the flag at the courthouse for the month of May 2025. I didn't know, Lloyd, what was the process here?
So your board, it appears your board already took in public comment for the whole item, which includes A and B, items A and B. So your board can proceed with just the motion,
Okay.
Which would be to approve the placing of the flag referenced in the memo on the courthouse for the month of May 2025.
All right, thank you. There's not, I know that I opened it up to the public earlier, but not for B, so I'll go ahead and see if there's anyone that would like to comment on this in case. on Zoom? All right, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the posting of the flag and authorizing public services to put it on the courthouse for the month of May 2025.
I second that.
For sake? Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries 5-0-0. It looks